On this episode of Race Pace, I tell you what I've been doing for the last few weeks. That's kind of the way we do it around here. Strap in. Welcome to the Race Pace. Give you a quick update on what's been going on because it's been a little bit. 2 weeks ago I went out to the Mapes. They held a race out there for IATVHS. I think they have some letters that are tough for me to remember, but I went out there. I didn't bring my side-by-side. I was having some brake issues. I'm gonna come clean with everybody. I just haven't been able to get good brakes in it since Durham Town when I kind of melted them down. So, still working through that, not really sure. Replaced master cylinders and the rear calipers, all new brake pads all the way around. Still just can't get good brakes on it. So, they stop good once they engage, but the travel's a long way down. Any of you X3 guys, if you know something for me to try, pass it along. I've bled them twice manually with like 2 people manually, and also twice with power bleeder. No luck. So I'll take the help. Anyway, moving on. Went out there to the Mapes, and they had a great race. Andy Kiner put it on. It was a long track. It was something like 10 miles long. But good track. We had great weather for it. A little bit muddy in a couple spots, but all in all, pretty good. Can't complain about that race at all. The Mapes, as always, thank you for the hospitality. They had a spot for me to pull my my RV up there, and man, just hung out and talked to them and got to meet Danny Hill. Finally, he drove in from Nebraska, and Chad from Dr. Power Sports was out there. Just several guys that I don't get to see very often just due to the travel and kind of where they're located and where I'm located. I got to see them, so that was real nice. Barry Miller also made the trip out there. Ended up, he had a bad start. If I can find the video, I'll put some of it in here. But basically, he did the classic thing that I think every racer does, and he started in neutral. I think we've all done it, like I said. I know I have at least. So, but he ended up fighting back there, and Barry ended up in second position. He ended up in second position, so good for him. Cam Mapes, he actually had a really good race. He ended up having some power steering troubles. He had to pull over and shut the car off to reset power steering, but when he did that, he lost a position to a couple people and went from, I think it was at that point, second to fourth. So it put him just off the box, but good race out there, Cam. Yeah, but it was good to hang out with everybody. Good to finally meet some people that I just had never gotten a chance to meet, and reconnect with a few old friends that we just don't see real often. And then this last weekend, I had an event here at my place. But before I get to that, I didn't get to make it out to it, so I don't have all the details, but Devin Smith actually got out there and raced again. Got his machine all put together, and he ended up placing first. So good job. Congratulations, Devin. It was a muddy one for them. The funny thing is that race is only 15 miles from my house. We had great weather here for our event that I had, but IXCR there, they had a lot of rain, and it was very muddy and very slick. I think they got a half an inch of rain the night before, so that was unfortunate, but looks like they had a good turnout. They had 30 machines, I think it was, and kind of the normal were there. Matt Lithgow, Matt Hecker, Ty Phillips, and Devin, like I said, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of people that I know. Brad Ashby was there, others. Yeah, I'm just running through the ones thinking in my head of who I saw on the sheet and just pulling it back through my head. But anyway, they had a good event. They put it on, made it through the weekend. The rain didn't stop them, so good on them. Now, on to what happened here at my place and why I wasn't able to attend IXCR. I had the Desert Vets Southeast team, that whole group, they came out here to do some test and tune. Essentially, they had some drivers that were new to the sport, and some that were just kind of a little green, a little new to the whole side-by-side racing thing. And so I said, well, you know what? I have property. I have a couple tracks set up. Why don't we all come out and spend a little time just turning some laps? It's not in a race scene. It's no pressure on it. We can turn as many or as few as we want. Leading up to the event, we were kind of concerned about the weather. Like I was talking about IXCR, they were talking about we were supposed to actually get a half an inch of rain on Saturday, which was our test and tune day. A lot of people showed up Friday night, and the plan was to start running early Saturday morning and run through most of the day Saturday, and then they could all head out Sunday morning. Well, we were debating canceling because of the rain. We ended up just finally saying, you know what, forget it. We're going to go on with it because never know what's going to happen. And I'm sure glad we did go on with it. We ended up having pretty decent weather. It was overcast and kind of light, like drizzle occasionally, and then it would stop. But it was really just enough to keep the track watered down. There was already some dampness in the ground, so that was good. And once we blew the little top layer of dust off, and with the little bit of rain, it never really got slick, but it was enough to keep it nice and tacky and from dusting up. And I didn't have to water the track, so I was thrilled about that. So that was good. I got mine out, turned some laps, still having the brake issue. I really just wanted to test it where I could push it a little bit here, try and figure out what was going on with it. I really don't have a good grasp on that. I got to drive Jeff's car, which was the other one that wasn't here. It's a 72-inch X3 with a 3R tune on it, I believe it is. Just different, totally different. I couldn't get used to that front diff because I have the True Lock in the front end of mine, so it really pulls both, and it's how I like it. His still has the factory diff, and I ended up flipping it to like full diff lock. I think he's got the smart lock in it. I'm not sure. I'm not as up on the Can-Am stuff as I should be. Just not enough time with them to know it all. But I ended up flipping it into the full diff lock because I liked how it pulled out of the corners better. It was more similar to how mine pulls out of the corners. But that was interesting to drive a 72-inch machine. It was softer ride than mine, and he's got G-force shocks on his too. I don't know how they were tuned specifically, more for desert, I know, but I mean, I don't know what the click settings were and everything else. But it was more flat and stable in the corners, where mine kind of wants to lift the front tires. Now, I'm running more power than he is, so maybe that has something to do with it. I don't have a good answer for that. But, man, it was a great weekend. Came out. You know, we just kind of hung out on Friday night for the people that got here nice and early. Not the McLarens. They're kind of the late people. And then Saturday we got up, had some breakfast, and went out and just started running and turning laps. And really, we didn't stop turning laps. We probably started at 9:30 in the morning, maybe 10 o'clock. Tried to keep it to a reasonable hour for the neighbors so that they didn't get woken up. And then we didn't stop running until 2 o'clock, basically. And people would just kind of go out, turn 6-8 laps, come back in. Other people would go out, turn 6-8 laps or whatever, and come back in. It was really leisurely. I didn't go out too much. I kind of know how my car's going to act, minus the brake thing. I went out and I took a couple people for the ride. We did have the Beck family in. And I took Andrew. He was the vet who was supposed to ride with me in Missouri before I had the rock chunk through my wheel. I took him for a spin around the track and his wife. So that was nice. It was kind of like, hey, sorry I didn't get to take you for a ride, so come on out to my place and I'll take you for a ride. It was a good time. It was nice to have them and their family here. And, you guys are welcome back whenever. Stuff coming up this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I have some prior commitments that I have to see how the timing of the race falls versus my other commitments. But Mommy out in, I think it's actually in Duggar, Indiana. It's over by Terre Haute. Anyway, they're having their second race event for the year. And it's not really a short course. They've kind of modified it to be where it's more of a rally course type thing. It's wide enough. It's through the woods. It got much longer. It goes off the short course, but it goes into the woods also. I'm not saying it'd be a bad track. It looks like it's actually been designed pretty well. They bulldozed it. It looks like it'll be pretty nice, assuming we don't get a lot of rain, which we're not supposed to. So I think the weather will be great for them. But like I said, I have some other commitments, and I'm going to see how the timing falls. If I can get there, I'll go run that race with those guys, just because it's close and I haven't ran that track. So that's going to be fun. Looking forward to that. I'm sure lots of local guys like Michael Plank and Devin Smith and Mike from Mikey's Speed and Fab. He'll be out there because it's just kind of down the road from all those guys. Let's see. Then we have the Coors Series, CORS, not like the beer, COORS. They have their new place in South Carolina, and it's short course and what they call endurance, which is what we call XC racing up here in like Indiana, which is where I'm at, obviously. But they have their new place, and they've been releasing pictures, and I believe the date is May 22nd is their first race of the year. So they're going to have that. Looks like a really nice place. I don't know if I'm going to make it there either due to other commitments. So I would like to, but I'm just on the fence. It's a long drive, and depending how everything goes, we'll see. Maybe I'll try and update you guys later. But it looks like a great facility. It's at a riding park, and they have definitely committed to putting some money into the series and into that short course circuit and all that. Now, if you want to call it a drawback, the only kind of drawback, it's a new short course. So the Coors Series is actually doing the smart thing, and they're requiring grid, like metal grid, over the driver's window area. That way it keeps any rocks from coming in at the driver. So it's a smart thing to do. It's kind of an extra hassle, but they are okay as long as you have metal grid, and if you just zip tie it to the cage or put some hose clamps on there to fasten it on good, as long as it's fastened good, they're okay with it. They're not trying to exclude anyone or making tech overly complicated. They're just doing it for safety reasons. So that's about all we got for you this time. I know Doug's been a little scarce. He's been really busy, and it's just almost easier for me to walk out here, talk to you all in the barn, and kind of update you on what's going on. Hopefully, we kind of get back in our normal rhythm where Doug and I get to talk and get to tell you things, and maybe we can get Doug to go along on some of these race adventures that I'm going on. It's a good time. In the meantime, I'd like to thank our sponsors. We got County Financial, the Weitzel's over there. They're our premier sponsor this year. Basically, any kind of insurance you could want, from like home insurance, car insurance, your side-by-sides, they do that kind of insurance. They even do race insurance if you race. They're one of the few places that can insure your machine while you race. Or if you're a race series, they do race series insurance also. Look them up. They're avid racers. It's good to have people like that who are in the industry on both sides, not just riding, but also providing services to racers. So very neat. We also have Mikey's Speed and Fab. He's there in Terre Haute. Roll cages. I've seen a nice exhaust he made. I really like that. Radius rods, just kind of everything. Not just side-by-sides. He does Jeeps. He does all of it. 834 powder coating, Matt there, he's back on board with us again this year. And those two, pretty close. I mentioned it in the last video that if you want to have a roll cage or whatever made, basically it can go straight from Mikey's straight to 834, and then you can get a finished product. But we also want to thank Precision Powder Coat, Keith over there. He's on board as a sponsor. Yes, we have two powder coaters. Yes, they both know each other. Yes, they're okay with each other. Everything like that. It's not a competition between the two of them. They're both supporting racers, just doing it in a little bit different locations. One in Terre Haute and the other in the Mooresville area, Mooresville, Indiana. So either one, both do great work. I have nothing against either one of them. Neither one of them have anything against the other. But that's all we got for you guys this week. Hope you guys enjoy. Definitely look us up, hit us up if you know some more racing that's going on. We'll see what we can get to. I'm kind of looking for more short course stuff, just seeing what's out there and seeing where I can travel to and where I can kind of check out new tracks. That sounds like fun to me. So that's what I got, and I'll talk to you later. Have a good one. See you guys.